Just trying to survive and learn to love along the way by Foreplay on AO3. Episode 53, Chapter 53 of Discharge and a New Home. Izuku is tired. Not tired in the sense that he needs sleep. He's done enough of that already. He's tired of sitting in the hospital, waiting for news on the League of Villains and how they found the training site. He and Kachan have been sharing a room for almost a week now. Neither of them were injured particularly bad. Izuku probably could have recovered at home after the first day. But no one knows where the rest of the League is. They don't know if the villains would come after he and Kachan again. So his dad decided to keep them in the hospital, where they could keep an eye on both of them. Their stay hasn't been too bad. They've had a few awkward conversations, and Kachan is clearly growing tired of being around him for so long, but it could be worse. His dads are here when they don't have to work, and sometimes they bring their paperwork with them to keep him company. They probably worry about what could happen if they leave him alone for too long. Some of his friends have visited too. Shoto made sure to stop by after he was discharged, and Hitoshi spends a fair amount of time with him when his dads can't. Even some of his classmates that he's not all that close with have come bearing well wishes. Kirishima is here more often than not, distracting Kachan. It's hard not to notice that he's the only one of their classmates to visit him. He's there more than Kachan's parents are. It's how Izuku learns what happened while they were busy being kidnapped. Kachan had painfully pried the information from him while the adults were away, and Izuku couldn't even pretend he wasn't listening to the tale. Even though their stay wasn't all that bad, Izuku is relieved they're being discharged today. His dads had already picked up his belongings and brought them over to their newly completed dorms. Sashi is on his way to pick him up now, while his other dad waits for his classmates to start arriving at the dorms. Izuku hopes that they all do, even though he's not all that close with the majority of the class. It would still be sad if any of them left UA. Izuku knows that they're all going to be great heroes. It's going to be awkward living with a bunch of people he doesn't know, but this is a great chance to get to know them better. Hopefully both of his dads will be living in his dorm building as well. Apparently they have their own apartment-style section of the dorms on the first floor of the rooms, easily accessible by students if they need any help. His dads even said that they have an extra room for Izuku in case he ever needs to escape from his classmates. He'll probably hang out in his dad's room a lot, if he's being completely honest. He'll just use Radio and Toothless as an excuse. He is so excited to see the cats. It feels like it's been forever since he's seen them, when in reality it's only been a little over a week. He needs some kitty cuddle time. Maybe his dads will let the cats hang out in his room. They usually sit with Izuku anyways. He'll even make sure to keep them out of sight of his classmates, although he'll probably introduce them to his friends. Everyone deserves these cats in their lives. There's a knock on the door, and Izuku looks up to see his dad standing there, Izuku's favorite sweater in hand. Ready to go, listener? At his nod, his dad walks over to where he's sat on the bed, and Izuku gratefully pulls the sweater over his head. Kachan stomps up to the bed, scowl in place. Izuku actually forgot that they're driving him, but it's what makes the most sense, even if it would be the most awkward car ride ever. Izuku was right. After walking silently through the hospital, the three of them proceeded to have the most awkward car ride ever. His dad drops him off at the gates, making sure that they made it through before heading over to the teacher's entrance. He and Kachan walk silently a few feet apart. They pass by a few students, loading down with luggage, but neither of them have that problem. Izuku assumes Kachan's parents has dropped his stuff off earlier. Only a few of his classmates are there before them, and Izuku's dad stands in front of the group, waiting for the rest of them to arrive. There's a weird lump in his dad's capture scarf, and Izuku steps to the front of the group to try and figure it out. Before he can, the lump disappears, and Toothless jumps out, landing gratefully on the pavement, and running over to him. She reaches her feet and meows louder than he's ever heard her, demanding to be picked up. Izuku crouches down and scoops her up, ignoring the reaction of his classmates, as he buries his face in her fur. She's purring quietly, only enough for Izuku to hear how content she is. He looks up and finds his dad watching him with an almost smile on his face. It wouldn't do if he smiled in front of his class, would it? He walked over to his dad so they could speak without his classmates overhearing. Why'd you bring her outside? She missed you. Radio did too, but I only had the space in my scarf for one cat. Surprisingly, Toothless was more vocal about it, so she won. Izuku laughs as Toothless rubs her face on his cheek at the comment. He makes his way back to where his classmates have gathered, and ignores the stares he receives for the cat in his arms. He takes his place next to Hitoshi, and his friend barely spares him a glare before cooing at Toothless. Can I pet her? Izuku meets Shoto's eyes and nods at him. His friends make sure to reach out with his left hand, the warmer side of his body. Toothless clearly appreciates it, if the way her purring gets louder is anything to go by. The sounds of shoes slapping the concrete reaches his ears, and Izuku looks at the sound to find Kirishima running up, the last of their classmates to arrive. He slides up next to Kachan and gives Izuku's dad an apologetic smile, probably for being 10 minutes late. Alright, class, I've got a map of the door building here, as well as room assignments. Do your best to get settled in, because class resumes after this weekend. His dad hands a stack of papers to Ida, who begins handing them out to the class. Hitoshi grabs one for Izuku, since he has his handful, and they look over it together. The layout of the building is pretty simple, and Izuku is revealed that his neighbor's with Hitoshi, although it's unfortunate that he's in the 3rd floor, away from Shoto. At least he's close to his dad's. Izuku and his friends walk through the doors together, excited to set up their rooms and get settled in. Okay, alright, well, that was something. That was truly something. Alright, okay, so, this was a nice chapter. Hitoshi and Izuku are roommates. I'm guessing Hitoshi is where Mineta would be, and then next to Izuku would be, Yo Mama. Okay. Yo Mama. Yo Mama. Yo Mama. Wow. That dude. Sparkly bitch. Sparkles. Mr. Can't Stop, Shining? Was it? I Can't Stop Twinkle. I Can't Stop Twinkling. Yep. No names. But, I think he's next to that person. Okay. I can't speak. I can't read. It's so hot, I left my water bottle outside. Yay. It is really hot here where I live. Those who are living in hot areas, please make sure to drink water. But this is interesting. The next chapter, which is chapter 54, is of news and okay. Well, interesting. Okay. Either they find out that there's a traitor, or... Okay. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.